what made you want to come out tonight?
I've been wanting to visit the Occupy Wall Street movement and gathering in the park since I got here. I got to New York a few weeks ago and I'm shooting a movie here, and I haven't had the opportunity to come because I've been working.
You picked the perfect night.
Well, I just finished my job yesterday, and I'm working on The Dark Knight Rises. The movie just wrapped. Well, I wrapped yesterday, and the movie wrapped today. And so I was planning on coming tomorrow morning to check out the park. And just as I was going to bed, I looked at Twitter and saw like, oh, the park might not be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And it was the live stream actually that really convinced me when I saw that live stream, because they were doing the mic check thing and repeating back and forth what each other was saying. And people have been trying to explain to me that method of amplifying words, but I couldn't really understand it based on what people had just said in conversation. But then once I saw it on the live stream, and then coming down here and seeing it, it's pretty powerful, and it's actually kind of beautiful. I get off on how mass numbers of people have managed to get on the same page with each other and communicate. And yeah, I mean, the ideas that it seemed to me the movement exemplifies, they're not exactly new ideas. In fact, they're really old ideas, but they're ideas that I've certainly been behind for a long time, ever since I've, started paying attention to much about how the world works. The idea, the new phrase for it is 99%. But that's not a new idea. It's the haves and the have-nots, however you want to call it. And it's always a thing. And I mean, it always just comes down to people with power being selfish, and or other people playing victims, not taking control of their own voices, I guess.
What? All right, go ahead. Yeah, man. I mean, why not? It's a little threesome camera action.
Joseph, I just have a quick question. A lot of people are saying, calling Hollywood stars the 1%. Will Smith has kind of been poking fun at the whole movement, saying that he's 1%. Like,
right.
What is your take on the everyone calling actors in Hollywood? You guys are also part of the problem. I mean, what's
Well, I mean, I would tend to agree that if you lump Hollywood or mainstream media all into one category, it's really problematic. Hollywood has lots of problems, for sure. But there's also really cool shit that comes out of Hollywood. An example being the movie I just did. I mean, yeah, you're gonna really like that movie, man.
What
Trust
movie is
me.
that?
It's called The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, I saw the scene. I know you're contractually obligated not to talk about anything, but I saw the scenes of protesters fighting police officers down by the New York Stock Exchange. It looks very interesting. But on another note, if I could ask you, personally, what social issues would you like to see Occupy Wall Street accomplish? What issues do you think are important for this movement to kind of grasp and take a hold of?
I think you definitely named a good one, that getting money out of government. One of my favorite thinkers, Lawrence Lessig, he started something called Creative Commons, and more recently he's been working on this thing called Change Congress, and their basic premise is just that money, bribery, lobbyists and stuff sort of corrupts Washington. I'm no expert on how the government works. Personally, the government seems like a big show to me. I tend to think in terms of show business, and when I see the government or what it does, it reminds me a lot of what I do, making movies and entertainment shows.
Yeah.
And
it's like political theater. You have the good actor, the good speaker, get up there, make a bunch of promises, but then he never delivers, like Barack Obama.
Well, look, again, I'm no expert. It seems to me like he's done what he could, but in general, if you're gonna try to go up against big money, even if you're the president of the United States, you're not gonna really be able to do that much, because the way that our whole system is set up.
Yeah, but I mean, he's financed by big money. He gets more money from Wall Street than any other presidential candidate in 2008.
He's the president of the United States. That's the way it works. If you want to be the president of the United States, then you have to be within that whole thing.
I know Josh brought up the 1%, but I think it's even smaller than the 1%, because I don't think actors and other people who became wealthy on their own means are guilty or somewhat responsible. I think there's I don't know if you agree with me or not, a small group of families that are in charge and pretty much have key partnerships in banking and corporations and government and media that all collude together for their own personal benefit to create something of one world government. I don't know if you ever heard one world government before.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I have. I mean, I don't know, dude. My experience, because I'm aware of and know some of the people that are in very high positions of power in Hollywood. I think what they're motivated by, really more than anything, is they're just trying to make money. And
yeah.
I think in general, if there's one thing that it keeps going back to is prioritizing money. Money was never supposed to be the point. Money is supposed to be a tool that allows you to, fairly distribute and exchange goods and services. But it's become this thing that people fetishize and lust after and want more and more of for no good reason.
Yeah.
And I see it happen in my business and in movies. People sort of forget to make good movies. They lose sight of why they want to make a movie. They're just obsessed with making a movie that will make the most money. And it doesn't make for good movies. And as a movie lover, that upsets me when the people who are in charge of making movies are more concerned with making money than they are with making movies.
And art.
They definitely are, sure. Yeah. And there are exceptions, of course, like Christopher Nolan actually certainly is, very good at making lots of money with his movies, but he also loves movies and I think prioritizes that more than anything, and he makes fucking awesome films. But I think that same thing happens writ large, not just in Hollywood, but all over the place, whether it's, the food industry or the medical industry or the insurance industry or the whatever.
Or the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, and they're trying to fill the void within themselves that they have by making more and more money, but that void is never going to be filled, and more power and more control. I think it's even bigger than money, because people think money is power and control. But I think other people have been getting those means in other ways too, and they use government as a tool to get those means. And
but the government's just bought and sold too. It's all really money. The amount of money it takes to run a campaign, it's a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money compared to like a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like,
are you aware that we are under a private bank, that the Federal Reserve is not federal at all? It's as federal as Federal Reserve. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, man. The whole thing is very, very specifically designed for the big money to stay big money. That's kind of what it's all about. Which is why I think it's cool that this movement's sort of centered in Wall Street. Like the idea. I remember when I graduated college. I didn't graduate college, but when I dropped out of college. But when my class was graduating, friends of mine that I had started college with, these two, I went to Columbia Uptown, and these really smart guys, and girls, were all going and being iBankers, and they weren't gonna make anything. They learned all this shit, and they could, do all these things, and who knows what they could build if they were gonna start their own business or, become an engineer or whatever. But all of them were just taking the instant $100,000 salary first year, and basically just going and gambling for a living. Yeah. And so to see sort of people with those kinds of capabilities and those kinds of opportunities just going for the money and not actually making anything, that's a bummer. My dad always said Wall Street's just Las Vegas with more paperwork. Yeah. And my dad, by the way, dad's not he used to be a bit of he used to be pretty radical, but yeah, he runs a small business. My dad has 20 employees. He runs a business that he started in California. Yeah. It's not owned by any higher up thing. It's just him, and he has his 20 employees. And yeah, he's no fan of Wall Street. Yeah. The whole larger thing is definitely organized to keep the money where it is.
Yeah. It's always sad seeing human potential being destroyed by that fake piece of paper that's manipulated against us by a private bank or private people, and they print as much as they want to give people a fake. And I think there even was a psychological study that proved after people make $75,000, their happiness doesn't go up, and their suffering and their pain actually goes up.
I know some miserable rich people.
Yeah. More money, more problems. But you're a very cool, down-to-earth guy. I'm very happy you came down. Thank you so much for speaking to me. Thank you so much for interviewing me. Yeah, if there's anything else you'd like to say, I know you're working with another project. Would you like to promote that?
Yeah, man, hit record.
I'm recording the whole time.
I do this thing called hit record.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you taught me to hit record.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. And, it's a collaborative production company. I've been wanting to do a collaboration regarding Occupy, and I would love some of your footage, man.
Yeah, take all of it. You can take it right off YouTube. Use keepvid.com.
Wait, what do you use to download a YouTube video? Because I used
keepvid.com.
I used to do Get YouTube Video.
No, that
it stopped working.
Yeah, it stopped working. Keepvid.com still works great.
Keepvid.com.
Yeah, use all of mine. I mean, I got interviews with Roseanne Barr, Lupe Fiasco.
Well, the way
who
we
else?
do it on Hit Record is like we make shit, and then I use my contacts to like turn it into productions. Like we
you just upload the video raw.
Yeah.
And then people get a chance to actually make a production out of it and edit it and direct it and do all that.
And then I take my connections and use it to like publish like a DVD or like screen it at Sundance and
that's sweet.
And we make money and we share the profits. So like if we use your footage and we end up using it in a production that makes money, we split those profits.
I'm not in it for profits. I'm just here to show it to everybody.
I'm not in it for profits exactly either, but sometimes
it helps get the message because
like
exactly the camera costs money, the SD cards, gas, getting here, bail money, band-aids. And all that other stuff. So yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. But I wish you luck with your project. I hope people get involved. I'm gonna get involved. And yeah, man.
Yeah, upload a few things. Upload a tape. I mean, I'll put the shit on there from. I'll use KeepVid.
Yeah.
Go to We Are Change.
No, I'll do it too if you want.
Yeah, man, do it, cause then it'll be cool to have you there in the community.